What's up, friends? Thanks for coming back to the channel. I appreciate you waiting around for me. I promised I was going to put a new video out last weekend, but I got sick and my throat was all scratchy sounding. I didn't think you wanted to listen to all that. So I'm better now, and I promise I'm going to put out a couple videos actually this week, or at least I'm going to try to. I don't want to say I promise, but who knows? Maybe I won't, maybe I will, but I'm really going to try to. I really appreciate all of you that keep coming back to the channel and all of you new subscribers. I appreciate all of you, so it's really cool. Really, I'm not here to make money or anything like that, obviously, because I'm not, but I am here to help you out. So if I can help you with some programming stuff, cool. So anyways, without any further ado, let's review what we did last time real quick. So we put together this app, and I'm going to run it real fast. And essentially, it's just a really simple Blazor WebAssembly app that uses an API backend written in C#, and then it uses Blazor on the front end. And of course, if we run both of them at the same time, we have a Swagger UI that's over here that allows us to get all of our rooms that we have in our database. And I'm going to go ahead and try it out real quick and execute. I should get a list of rooms in this case. There we go. And then also my front end has a rooms link that shows me these cards of rooms. So today, as it says in the title, I want to talk about two things. One, I want to talk about components, and then I also want to talk about some basic error handling, because we do get some errors sometimes when we're developing, and handling errors is super important. So I'm going to close that real quick, and I want to come over to the counter page. So if you don't have it open in your Solution Explorer, it should be in Pages. It's kind of a holdover from when we first created the Blazor web app or WebAssembly application for the front end. It's one of the default pages that comes with it, along with the fetch data and then the home or whatever, the index. So we're going to look at the counter real quick, and I want to show you this whole thing about components. See, right now as it is, we have our rooms in this rooms base code behind, and then a rooms.razor page that displays all of the rooms in cards, okay? But this rooms thing, when we made it, if you recall, we went over here to Pages, and we said right click, and we said add, and then we said Razor component. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Well, the whole idea of these front-end web languages like Angular and I think React, I don't really know a whole lot of React, but I know Angular for sure. They use these things called components. And the idea is that you can make something like this as a small portion and then drop it into a page and add it to that page as a small portion of a larger thing. Let me show you what I mean. So right now here we have the counter page, right? And up here we have the page title. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just enter down a little bit here, still on the counter page, and I'm going to say, rooms. There we go. Now, right now it's blue, and it doesn't really know what this thing is. So what we have to do is come up here and give it a using statement. So we're going to say using, and then we're going to say front end dot pages dot rooms. There we go, and it should turn green now. And so with the rooms turned green, and we don't have to put an enter there, but I just did because with the rooms turned green, now what will happen is when we run this and look at the counter page, instead of just being a counter, we'll also see the rooms display as well. So check it out here on the, if it'll load, there we go. On the rooms page, we still have the rooms, okay, as we get from the API. But when we go to the counter page, we also have the rooms again. And then here's the counter, and the counter still works like normal. See, really cool. And so the idea behind this is that you can build small components, small pages that don't use a lot of code and make it a lot easier to manage. And then you can drop those components into other pages and make something like a multi-featured page or a dashboard type feature, dashboard type page, that sort of thing. So it's got a lot of really cool uses, and it kind of sticks with that whole SPA. I know people call it a SPA. I don't like calling it that. An SPA or a single page application, it goes along with that whole thing too. The other thing that I want to talk about now is some very basic error checking, okay? And let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to force an error here by going to the room service, and right here where it says these /API/rooms, I'm going to add an extra letter to this. And so what that's going to do is that's going to throw an error, because this service is going to go looking for /API/rooms with this extra S. It's not going to be able to find it, and it's going to return an error back to the front end. And we'll see that error populated on the front page or on the page where we try to go to, and it'll essentially just error out the application. Now the application itself will continue to run, but we're going to see a problem. See right here, an unhandled error has occurred. Reload. Okay, so we reload it, and we're still going to get the same error because it's still looking for the same problem. Now normally what I would do here is I would say F12, and I would look for what the problem is. And you can see I've got this big old error going on here. It says failed to load, and it tells me failed to load the resource. Server responded with a status of 404, and so 404 means not found. And of course, this is the URL that I tried to get to, 5001 API/rooms with an extra S. Okay, and so that's my error there, right? So I'm going to go ahead and close all that. What I want to do is I want to make this a little bit cuter, I guess. So I'm going to leave that error in place. Don't forget about it, just FYI. I've done that before. I've made like a fake error, and then I come back and I'm like, whoopsies, why isn't it working? And it takes me half an hour to debug the stupid thing. So anyways, I'm going to leave that in place, but instead what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the counter, and I'm going to wrap this in Blazor's built-in error handling stuff. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to say error boundary. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to enter down, and I'm going to say child content. Now this is important here. You need to make sure you've got child content and error content. Okay, the idea is that the child content is what's supposed to be there, and then the error content is what will be there in the event that something in the child content errors out. So I'm going to take this rooms here, and I'm just going to move it up by holding Alt and pressing the arrow key. There we go, and tab it in. Okay, and right now what we should see is when we run this, if the rooms are available, then they'll show up. But since they are not going to be, because we made this error here, what's going to happen is it's going to load with a custom error, well, not a custom error message, but in my opinion, a little bit nicer error message. And we should see that populate right here on the counter page. Once we get there, there we go, counter, and let's go. Come on. Oh, of course, it doesn't want to show up, but let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, it doesn't want to do it. So let's see what the problem is here. We've got error boundary, child content, rooms. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let's add a div. We're going to say div, and we're going to say class equals, I'm going to say border p-4 text danger. And then I'm going to, inside the div, I'm going to say, sorry, something has gone wrong. Sad face. Sad face. There we go. I don't want that to be closed. All right. And, oh, that's sortie. Let's try sorry. All right. Okay. Let's give that a try now. Okay. So I've got child content. I've got rooms. I've got error content with a div inside there. All right. So let's see if we can get that to work right. So ideally what we should be seeing is a error showing up in our counter page that just gives us some sort of a random, there we go, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. That's it right there. Okay, so as you can see, I have given a little bit of a customization going on there. And you can customize this to your heart's content using obviously bootstrap classes and etc. etc. So I implore you to explore that a little bit more in detail, like if you want to change this border to something, or I've seen it where like an icon is in the front here and the border is red and the background is red and the text is white. Like for instance, actually I'm just going to go ahead and do that. B4, and then we'll say border. I think we can do this. I am not a front-end developer, just FYI. Oh yeah, I can't do it like that. I think we have to do a style actually, TBH, and I just don't feel like doing that. Background, no, can't do that either. There's definitely a way to do it. I just text background, yeah. There's definitely a way to do it. I just don't remember it off the top of my head because, again, I'm not a front-end developer. But that's okay because you can take this time to explore how you would make your error your error, message look a little bit more professional, look a little bit fancier, etc., etc. We can actually add this exact same thing over to the rooms.razor page as well. We can wrap this whole thing in the error boundary just like we did there. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to let you take a chance or take a stab at trying to do that, but I'll give you a hint. Essentially, because this is the content, you want to wrap all of this content in your error boundary content within the child content thing here. And then afterwards, of course, or outside of the child content, again, have another error content showing up. Okay, so I'm going to let you explore that a little bit. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you a little bit more in detail about error handling, because ideally you don't want to just show your users some sort of error like this. You want to give them a little bit more information about that error if you can. And so we're going to explore that in the next set of videos. And I'm going to show you a little bit about debugging in Blazor WebAssembly apps in the front end. So with that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.